Reynolds, host of Morning Coffee. We're here with another hot topic this morning. We had to squeeze one more in because I think it's very important. This is probably more important than any topics we talk about today. When you go to a restaurant, I don't think the average person thinks about where their food comes from, and what it took to get to the plate. But high advanced technology through irrigation management and satellite imaging combined with conservation practice have directly impacted our food on our local at our local stores and restaurants. Joining us today live from Texas, Texas farmers, Gina Shurgick and Nicole Spurlock. Gina and Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. Morning.
So, how are women taking a growing role in family farming?
Well, women are taking a growing role in many different ways. For us, today, we're taking a growing role in being advocates for our farm and connecting consumers with our farm and giving them confidence in the groceries that they're buying every day. So, on top of that, we're also errand runners, we're meal preppers. Sometimes our husbands and the other workers on our farm are not able to come home for meals. That can be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we can be out here feeding them and ensuring they're doing good day to day. And there might be some ways to utilize. We do the same at our farm. I definitely help during harvest with taking mules out. And sometimes I have even learned to drive a tractor to help plow and to run a module builder. I did not grow up on a farm, so those are things I've learned since I've been married. But as you said, one way that women are taking a growing role is by advocating and talking to other women through things like, we'll discuss later, find our common ground. It's a way for us to talk to women and help them feel better about the food that they're buying at the grocery store or eating at the restaurant.
Awesome. So, can you one of you describe a little bit of the new technology it's helped with conservation and sustainability efforts?
But yes, there's lots of different technologies that we're using. And there's a service called Natural Resources Conservation Service, and that helps us to know about upcoming technology and different practices that we can use. There are some practices that they've been using for years, like crop rotation, where we put one crop down one year, and then the next year we'll use another crop on that field so that we can keep the soil as healthy as possible. And then there are new things like GPS and tractors. There's different types of nozzles that we can use on our sprayer that help reduce drift. So when we spray pesticides, when we have to use them, they don't go anywhere other than where they're targeted to go. And then we spend a lot of time reading on the internet and in magazines about best practices. And I think, Nicole, they utilize some other things as well. Yeah, so feeding off of what Gina said, we do all of those things as well here on our farm. We also embrace the wonderful sciences out there, the biotechnologies, that help us to grow the same crop that we did many years ago. So, for example, with corn, we can grow the same amount of corn as we did 30 years ago using half the water. So it's pretty remarkable. We also use fewer pesticides on our farm and less fertilizer than we did before. So we embrace these biotechnologies that just give us a smarter plant.
So, ladies, another thing is, soil. Obviously, plants take soil. How is it, that you guys are keeping soil more healthier?
Yeah, well, there are several different ways that we do that. One of the ways, Gina kind of touched on it earlier, is through crop rotation. And getting more specific with that, let me use a field as an example. So the field behind me, let's say, last year, we could have planted cotton there. So, and I should say, we're sitting out at a farm. I'm not sure how much you know, but we're sitting out at a farm right now, our family farm. So let's say we planted cotton there last year. We'll leave some of the, when we harvest the cotton, we only take up the part that we need. So it leaves behind some of the plants. We just leave that there, and then we just run a little strip through for the next year and just plant and seed in that little strip where a new crop like corn would grow out.
Gotcha.
So that old cotton plant that has stayed helps keep the soil there. We also use biotechnology, like I said before, to raise crops that use less water and that sort of thing. And then, let's see, we're talking about with preserving the soil. Yeah, so that's right. What she's talking about there is we're also not just preserving the soil, but we're preserving the natural resource of water, which is a big deal, especially up here in the Texas Panhandle. It goes hand in hand for us. Yeah, we get mixed up in it. Sure.
Yeah. So, can one of you tell us about, a little bit more about Field to Fork, the event that's being held in Texas this week?
Right, the Field to Fork was last night here at our family farm, and it was just a wonderful event that brought together all sorts of different people that have a role in the food process. So whether that just be an average consumer, whether that be a writer or a blogger, a farmer, or a decision maker, we brought these people together to our farm to enjoy a Texas-raised meal prepared by a chef, so he had a creative spin on things. And it allowed us just to talk about all these issues that we've talked about this morning, as well as inform people how we are sustaining our soil and the water here on our farm, and allowing people to feel more connected to the food we're raising and the food they're buying at the grocery store, at a restaurant. So it was just a really neat event in that.
Awesome, awesome. So, ladies, I got one more question for you. Do things really grow bigger in Texas?
With that,
I said one more question. Do things really grow bigger in Texas?
I hope so.
Well, thank you
And
so much.
for your viewers, if they want to check out findourcommonground.com and watergrowsjobs.org. Those are great places to look. Thanks for having this.
All right. Thank you so much. For you listeners out there, please check out the website that Gina and Nicole provided us. And we're going to be right back after this 90-second commercial. Thank you.